Alrighty, so let's kind of swing out here and let's run our application and test it out. Alrighty, so our app is up and running. Go to our login page. We'll log in as John, test 123. And excellent. So we're able to log into our application. So our user ID of John and his role of employee. Now I'd like to verify to make sure that it's really reading this information from the database. Make sure it's not using hard coded data. So I can go look at the logs here in my application. I can see here that it's connecting to the database. And it has a connection to MySQL database, and the connection started, completed. Okay, that looks pretty good. But I'd still like to verify the whole security piece of it as far as the authentication and the authorization piece. And I can move down here a bit, and I can see that it's executing a prepared SQL statement. And it's retrieving the username, password, and enabled for authentication. So this is great. So we know that it's grabbing some information from the database. And we can even find out the actual username that it's checking for. And so the parameter value of John. So that's the username. So it's checking for John's information for authentication. And then we see there's another query here where it's going to retrieve the username and authority. And this is being used for authorization or retrieving the roles for this given user. And that username here is John. Excellent. So we're able to kind of use that logging that we set up earlier to see the information that it's using behind the scenes for querying the actual database for authentication and authorization. So this looks pretty good. So it is actually connecting to the database and retrieving our information for security. I like this. Very good. Now we can swing back to our application. Let's do a log out here and let's try and log in with another one of our users. Let's use Mary, test 123. And excellent. So she's logged in, username of Mary, and then her roles, employee and manager. This looks pretty good. And also the roles work out just fine. So accessing certain pages and everything. So this looks really good. I'm happy. And also, just for sanity's sake, I want to do one more test here. I want to make sure that it's really using the database. And what I'll do is I'll actually go into the database and change Mary's password, and then try and go back and log into the application and see if it's really getting that information from the database. Just a check, double check. I'll open up the MySQL workbench. And I'll zoom in here. I'll do a query here on the users table. And then I'll actually go through and modify Mary's password. Instead of test123, I'll give it ABC123. Just something different. And then hit enter there. Now be sure that you click this apply button in the bottom right. You actually have to apply this to the database. So hit apply. They'll show the actual SQL statement they'll execute, so they'll update the password to ABC123 for the username of Mary. All right, so be sure that you follow this step. It's very important, because if not, the data will not be updated in the database. We hit apply, we hit close. And now let's swing back to our application. Let's use Mary test 123. Excellent. Okay, this fails as expected, right? Because we gave the wrong password. Now let's go ahead and do it again, and let's use our new password, ABC123. And success. We're logged in, user Mary, the roles employee manager. So now we know that it's really using the database. and also one other thing to notice here is that there's no need to restart our application. Spring Security will actually check the database each time during login. So this is a very nice feature. I like this. And now what I'd like to do just to kind of keep myself on track here, Let's go ahead and change the password back, just so I make sure that I use the proper passwords in the future here. I'll just zoom in here, and instead of ABC123, I'll change it back to test123. And again, remember to go through the steps there of doing the apply to actually apply this to the database. And now I can just log out over here and log in one more time, Mary, test123. And excellent, I'm back into the application. All right, so this is really good. So the key thing here is that we've modified our application to now we've used JDBC to actually store the account information. And this is just kind of the basic steps so far. In some of the following videos, we'll get into more advanced features as far as encrypting the password and so on. But at least we have the basic infrastructure in place. I'd like to say, good job, my friend.